Whispers beyond the veil. The rain had been relentless that evening, a curtain of silver needles slicing through the twilight. On the outskirts of Portland, Oregon, a 17-year-old girl named Elara Monroe sat in the passenger seat of her mother's aging Subaru, her fingers tracing idle patterns on the fogged-up window. They were returning from a college tour. Elara's dream was to study astrophysics, to understand the stars that had always whispered secrets to her in the quiet of night. Her mother hummed softly to the radio, a tune Elara didn't recognize. The road ahead shimmered with rain, headlights refracting like ghostly eyes. Then, in a flash of screeching tires and shattered glass, everything changed. A truck jackknifed across the highway. No time to swerve. Impact. Silence. Elara awoke in a sterile hospital room, the beeping of machines echoing like distant drums. But something was wrong. She felt no pain. Her body lay motionless on the bed, tubes snaking into her arms, her face pale and bruised. Yet she stood beside it, weightless, translucent, watching herself with a strange detachment. She was dead. Or dying. Or something in between. The room shimmered, and from the corner emerged a figure cloaked in shadows. Tall, faceless, its presence sucked the warmth from the air. It moved toward her body, reaching with fingers like smoke. "No," Elara whispered, though her voice made no sound. Then came a low growl. From beneath the hospital bed leapt a cat, sleek, black as midnight, with eyes like molten gold. It landed between Elara and the shadow, fur bristling, tail lashing. The shadow recoiled, hissing like steam, and vanished through the wall. The cat turned to Elara and spoke, not with words, but with thoughts. "You are not his to take." Elara staggered back. What are you?" "I am your guardian. I have watched you since birth. You are not done." The cat's name was Nyx. It had no gender, no age, only purpose. It had walked beside Elara in dreams, hidden in alleyways, perched on windowsills. It had waited for this moment. "You must return," Nyx said. "But not yet. There are things you must see." And so began Elara's journey. She drifted through the hospital, unseen. She saw her mother in the waiting room, hands trembling, eyes hollow. She saw nurses whispering, doctors shaking their heads. She saw herself, broken, fragile, suspended between worlds. Nyx led her beyond the walls, into memories. They walked through her childhood home, where she saw her father, long gone, reading her bedtime stories. They visited the park where she first learned to ride a bike, the library where she discovered Carl Sagan, the rooftop where she once made a wish on a comet. But the shadow was never far. It lurked in reflections, in corners, in the spaces between seconds. It whispered doubts, "She's fading. She's mine." Nyx stood firm. "She is stronger than you know." Days passed. Or maybe hours. Time had no meaning here. Elara began to change. Her spirit grew brighter, more defined. She could touch things, move them. She left messages, words scrawled in condensation, books knocked from shelves. Her mother began to notice. "Elara," she whispered one night, as a photo frame fell from the dresser. Then came the dream. Elara stood in a field of stars, each one pulsing with memory. Nyx sat beside her. "You must choose," the cat said. "Return, and face pain. Or stay, and fade." Elara looked at the stars. One flickered, a vision of her future. She saw herself in a lab, discovering something that would change the world. She saw love, heartbreak, triumph. She saw herself old, surrounded by grandchildren. "I want to live," she said. Nyx nodded. "Then fight." The shadow returned, furious. It lashed out, wrapping Elara in darkness. She felt herself pulled, sinking, drowning. But then, light. Her body convulsed. Machines screamed. Doctors rushed in. Elara gasped, eyes flying open. She was back. Recovery was slow. Her legs didn't work at first. Her speech was slurred. But her mind was sharp. She remembered everything. Nyx was gone. Or so she thought. Until one night, months later, she saw a black cat on her windowsill. It blinked once, then vanished. Elara smiled. She had work to do. Years passed. Elara became a scientist, a pioneer in quantum consciousness. She spoke of near-death experiences, of the veil between worlds. Her theories were radical, her evidence compelling. She never told anyone about Nyx. Not fully. But in her lectures, she always ended with a quote. There are guardians among us. Some walk on 4 legs. Some wear shadows. And some are stars.